Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it is time for an epic episode review. So, Bakugan Evolution's episode review, of course. So, we got number 16 here. They just put out some new episodes, so now I could actually do one of these reviews. And decided to do it from the great outdoors, aka the yard. It's getting a little wild over there. We got to get a lawnmower or a weed whacker or something, but you already know I'm going to utilize this somehow, some way. Hashtag skits. But yeah, getting into it. Episode 16 for the series. So this episode, it starts off with the Awesome Brawlers are all they're all sitting and talking. So they're looking at the news, and it's Leah's mom on TV talking about how the person behind like the elemental storms, like it all came to fruition because of the craziness that happened with like the build up with Wrath, Marlo Faustus having some big time evil power. You know, it's essentially like the Hal G Naga kind of thing. He got infected with like some like negative energy and such. Like Wrath got that power and then utilized it, you know, like to his full advantage. But then Faustus kind of lost control of himself, you know. And leading up to the big battle with Faustus and Wrath, but then they beat Wrath for the time being, and he vanished after that, you know. This is where Wrath actually vanished. Faustus actually ended up in the hospital, and Athena stops by while the Awesome Brawlers are sitting talking about it. So everything's in chaos pretty much. Like the elemental storms were still going on, even with you know, Wrath being defeated that time. Faustus was in the hospital. Athena stopped by and told them that Faustus was in the hospital. You know, that he was going to make a full recovery and everything, and to build back the academy. You know, because like a lot of people, ever since like the things went down with Wrath and Faustus, a lot of students left the academy. They didn't want to be at the academy anymore. They're like, nah, like we're not about this. We're not going to do this. And so a lot of them dropped out. They were like, nah, I'm done with this. But you know, they were getting into the conversation and saying, we're going to do training. Like, we're going to get back into it. We got to get a lot stronger to take on the elemental storms. Winton said that. And then Dan's like, well, we're going to get back into training. And everybody agrees, yeah. And then we fast forward, like, the next day. And everybody's doing, like, laps around, you know, because they're with Coach Short. Well, Coach Short is basically just telling them, like, drop and give me 5 or give me 10. It was especially Dan that wasn't listening. You know, he's like, why? Like, don't talk back to the headmaster. So I said this is a joke. I thought it was going to be a full joke with it. That, like, oh, Coach Short being the head. No, it wasn't a joke. This man actually became the headmaster because Faustus is gone. So you already know it's going to be like some military style, like, you're done when I'm done eating. You better go and train and work your butt off, like that type of vibe with it for sure. So, yeah, Dan was the one that's getting the big brunt of it because he's like, no, really, no way. Come on, you got to be kidding me. Like, why do I keep getting messed with? He's like, don't you talk back to your headmaster. Drop and give me 5 or give me 50. Do 5 laps around, you know, every time Dan did something. And, you know, Dan was not enjoying it. Nobody was really enjoying it. So, you know, essentially, like the academy was losing funding because of it too. Like students were leaving, they were losing funding, so the teachers didn't know what to do. They were all busy with stuff. So Coach Short became like the headmaster, you know, trying to whip everybody into shape. And then after all the training and stuff for the day, they all go to the cafeteria and they're sitting and eating. Dan's like destroying his food. And Leah's like, you're eating quite a bit. Like, you're eating a lot. And he's like, yeah, I've been just going crazy, like going around doing so much. Because, I mean, Short had him going around like running laps, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, doing everything, man. And he wasn't enjoying it. You know, Dan's not having fun with this for sure. And I'm talking a little louder because I don't know if the wind's hitting the mic or anything. You know, just outdoors is one of the things. But yeah, so they're all just sitting there like eating their food, talking about it, like how the teachers are all stressed, how they're not, like, you know, they have to sit there and figure out what they're doing for funding for the academy. And while they're sitting there talking, Coach Short comes up and he's like, all right, how long are you all gonna sit here and eat or just goof around? It's time for more training. And so they get into doing some more training. You know, they get back into it. And Dan was not enjoying it. He was not having any fun with it at all. So during the training, like Dan was sitting there exhausted. He's like, "This is no fun. Like this is awful." He hates it, you know. And even talking to Athena, like, "Are you really okay with this?" And she's like, "Of course I don't like it, but I made it my duty, like, to become the strongest because I'm not gonna let everything Mr. Faustus built." Like she still has kind of words about Mr. Faustus because it was like Wrath's power and like the negative energy that took over him, you know. And he even realized that at the end, like he was getting used and such. But still, like, what's the whole thing with Faustus and Wrath? I feel like we haven't seen the last of Wrath for sure, you know. But I'll get more into that after. But yeah. So so they were sitting there saying like how things had just gotten so different, how they weren't having fun with it. I think that was a beat. I hope that wasn't a beat. I've been stung by bees too much, you know. Or like they've been landing. One landed on my hand, the other day one landed on my leg when I was in the bathroom, and then like I've been stung in the neck before. So every time like an insect or a bug something lands there, I'm like, no, I'm not getting stung again. But anyways, getting back into it. They're all sitting there talking, and then Coach Short comes up. He's basically just like Shun, Leah, Athena, you all worked really well together with training. And then another thing popped up, you know, another elemental storm or another, Bakugan appeared. They said it was like level 3, so they go and take it on. Short says, those who do not pay attention in class or do not listen during training have no right to go out, being extremely strict about it, you know. So, um, my neighbors are over watching. I don't know if you guys saw them. Like they're over watching. You see them right there. But yeah. So Dan's bummed about it. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I can't go. So, the 3 of them go off. They take care of this Bakugan. It's an R-less Bakugan, actually. I'm pretty sure it's like a Vice Rocks. I think it was the Vice Rocks. It looks like Vice Rocks anyways. But it's like an R-less Bakugan. We haven't seen an R-less Bakugan for many of these storms before. They haven't shown like an R-less Bakugan up until this point. So, yeah, they're taking care of that Bakugan, but they're honestly like getting whooped with it because this Bakugan's going around with serious speed. It's got some big time power with it. They're having a lot of difficulty with it, and then they're like, "Coach, what should we do?" And he's like, "Give him the boom, bam. Give him with the boom and hit him with the bam." And then and then Leah's like, "Now he's starting to sound like Dan." And then we get a cutscene back to like Winton, Dan, Ajit. They're all at Studio B. You know. And they're like, well, it stinks that we couldn't go. I'm surprised you're still here, Dan. I would expect you to run off and not listen and go do something about it. And then he looks over and Dan's gone. And that's exactly what he did. He ran out to go and take care of it. He's like, I can't be left out of this. So then he shows up. And then Athena's like, I thought you'd show up, Dan. And Coach Short's like, what are you doing disobeying my orders? And then he's like, you don't have time to worry about that right now. And then Dan goes in. He's like, you can't, like, not every battle's the same. Like, a simulation is the same as, like, the real thing. You just got to go in with the boom and hit him with the bam. Literally what Coach Short just said. You know? It was kind of the same thing with that. So it's like, you can't really be mad at Dan. He's coming in and trying to help. I mean, it's given he has some power, but, Coach Short just being a very, very, very strict, headmaster. But yeah, stricter honestly than Faustus ever could be. There was rules, but like he's being crazy strict for sure. But Drago goes in and beats down this Vice Fox and gets the win. They come in and get the win with this and such. But then Coach Short's like, what are you doing disobeying my orders? He's like, well, we got the win, and that's what matters, right? He's like, it's all good. He comes in, he's like, it's not all good. You have to sit there and work on teamwork and all these other things, and you're going to pay for this. Like, you're going to be doing a bunch of laps. Wait till tomorrow's training. He's like, oh, give me a break. He just had enough. He was frustrated for sure, man. But, yeah, so that's the end of the first part. Overall, setting the tone with this, like what's happening to the Academy after the whole thing with Faustus and Wrath, Short taking over as the headmaster, the other teachers trying to figure out some way of getting funding and such, everything just being really chaotic right now, and the switch up and Short being really, really strict when it comes to his training and such, even like when they eat, like you gotta eat a certain time, like, I don't know if anybody knows what this is, it's called Boy State, so, I was a part of like National Junior Honor Society, National Honor Society in high school, I had like one of the 2 highest grades for it, like recommendations for it. And when you're a part of the top two, you can go to this thing called Boy State, something that New York State has, with like the top ranked students from every year. Uh, and so I happened to make it, onto that and went to that. When we went there, it was like big time training. Like you have to do it like military style. You have to fold your bed the right way. If you don't fold it with like the right corners and everything, like the Marines will come in, and the Marines are the staff sergeants and such. They would come in and they'd like mess it up. They'd either like mess up the entire bed. They put like somebody's got put in the shower. You can't make this up, man, for real. Like somebody's got put in the shower. Somebody's got thrown in the hallway. Like it was bad. So you know what I did? I just slept on a towel on this tiled like concrete like floor. I slept on a towel with my with, with my sweatpants as my pillow, and then a sheet. Like I had like a hoodie on, and I wore that. And then you wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, go out for PT, the training and everything, and then you'd have breakfast, and go for more training, and then lunch and everything. But yeah, kind of like you make your own government with it. It's pretty cool. It's a really really cool concept and such. Yeah, it was kind of cool because I became like a senator for like the specific like platoon that I was in, which was really really cool. Like the certain group that I was in, I became like the senator. That was kind of cool. I was just like, yeah, vote for me. I don't know. Um, I like video games for everybody. I just won it and then became senator. It was kind of cool. But yeah, so the highest ranked people became like the governor and such with it. But basically, the point with it is like it got strict. Like there was points where we but get that out there. But we had to go to you know, whenever we would go to eat, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever, the Marine would sit down and we have to eat. Like we have to have our food done by the time they finish their food, and then it's back outside, back in stance and everything. So ever since then, I've eaten really quick. Anybody who's like like actually met me or seen me or anything and see how I eat, they're like, you eat freaking quick, dude. It's just that's the reason why. But yeah, But anyways, getting back like into the story, like they have to sit there eating their food and everything really quickly. They have to finish by the time Coach Short is done. Definitely got flashbacks to Boy State with that for sure. It's crazy, man. But definitely the academy becoming a lot more strict, and Coach Short allowing like nothing, no fun, no BS, nothing. You already know. But yeah, so overall setting the tone for that, it was really really cool. Seeing that, just seeing like how things switched up, and I thought it was gonna be like I just said that as a joke, like maybe it's Coach Short that becomes a headmaster, maybe there isn't one, and then he becomes the freaking headmaster, and they're all not really enjoying it. But now we get into the second part of the episode. So they're sitting there doing some training, and they're all jogging around doing laps, and then Dan, while jogging, he's jogging right next to Winton, telling him about, you should have seen it, we came in and beat that golden Bakugan, it was freaking awesome, Winton. And then Winton comes in and he's like, I know, Dan, you've told the story like 10 or 11 times. And then Coach Short hears that, hey, you two, stop talking, go and give me 5 more laps. And then Winton's like, why am I in trouble? Coach Short literally says, because I said so. I'm in trouble because I said so, and I'm the headmaster. He's getting drunk with power, man. That's the thing. I'm like, him coming in, being so strict and such, he's getting drunk with power. I think it's setting up the development for the next few episodes. You can guess it. But yeah, he's definitely getting drunk with power. And Winton and Dan went back to Studio B. They're all in Studio B, but Winton and Dan especially were tuckered out. They're just laying back, exhausted. They're like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. This is awful. And they're all just like, yeah, it's become a lot more strict since, he's become the headmaster. And then Dan's like, well, we're going to sit and do something about this. We're going to pull some pranks. We can pull some pranks, and then he'll be right up out of here. And then we get a few cutscenes with Winton and Dan going around pulling some pranks. So the first one was like, Coach Short goes into the cafeteria, usually gets like a hot dog, and he puts ketchup and mustard with it, Well, they replaced the ketchup with hot sauce. They replaced it like hot sauce and mustard, and he ate it, and he's like, spicy! And then they're like, yeah, good job. They snuck in like the hot sauce with the ketchup, like a little prank right there. So we got a big time prank war going on here. And then I think the next one they had like some water balloons. No, the next one they were doing training with their Bakugan. So the Bakugan were blindfolded. The brawler had to tell the Bakugan where to go. They had to hit like the wrecking ball with a certain spot, and it's basically like an exercise to work on your communication skills and such. Even not seeing anything, having that full connection, which is some good training for sure. Well, Winton and Dan decided to replace the ball with a ball that's full of pepper powder. So then he did it for an example. Coach Short did it using Colossus, and it was yeah, he had Colossus hit it like being blindfolded, and then Pepper went everywhere, and everybody's sitting there sneezing. They had their masks on. They're like, nothing better than the old pepper spray prank. And then there's another one where Coach Short was walking outside. They literally threw water balloons off of the roof down onto him. they were not playing, man. Well, they were playing. They're just like, we're doing everything we can to just mess with him right now. And then he looks up, Dan, you stay right there. And then he starts running. He gets up there. They start running around and everything. And then they're going through the hallways. Coach Short's chasing Dan and Winter through the hallways. Banana peels. Coach Short slips, falls on the banana peel. And then and then Winter makes a joke like, oh, that was appealing. Like, just dad jokes. I don't know. Dad jokes made me laugh big time. And I say a lot of dad jokes. But yeah, dude. And then Coach Short gets up. His face is red. He's like, those two have messed with the wrong headmaster. Like, he was pissed, man. He was so upset. So, they go back to Studio B. And everybody's basically like, what's the point with this? All you've done is just made the headmaster mad. You made Coach Short really mad. You pissed him off. Like, what's the whole point of this? Oh, he'll be out of there. And they're like, well, it doesn't seem like it's working that way. Even Drago's like, Dan, are you sure like this is a good idea? Like, I don't know if this is a real good idea. So, they're like, nah, we got this. We just got to keep going with pranks. And then we'll make it where, yeah, we're going to continue to prank him. And we're going to get him out of there in no time. Well, this one, they put soap bubbles in the coffee maker. What they didn't know was that Coach Short had a guest there, and this guest actually was like funding the academy. He's like, well, Coach Short's like, thank you so much for funding this academy. And he's like, well, it looks like there's a lot of potential and vibrancy with this academy. So, of course, it's my pleasure. And then, of course, Winton and Dan on the outside. Wait, Dan's like, wait, he's got somebody with him. But Winton's freaking out. He's like, oh, God, no. Like, not coffee. They're sitting there talking about, like, would you like a coffee? Yeah, sure. And then they're like, oh, no, we can't let them use the coffee maker. They both go in, stop! And then it sets off a bunch of suds, and then, Coach Short sitting there apologizing big time. He's like, I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. And, like, I don't know what happened with this. And then they're like, it was supposed to be a harmless prank. We're sorry. And, the donor was like, I don't know what you're trying to teach these kids here. How unbelievable. I'm retracting my offer for this academy. So, like, the fear that Winton had, if, like, this happened, they could be getting rid of, like, the funding for the academy. And then, they go up, they're basically like, trying to apologize. They're like, please, sir, please fund this academy. And then he's like, all right, fine. If you can beat me in a Bakugan battle, then I will bring funding to this academy. If you lose, I walk. And then they're like, okay. So then they send out Trox and Drago. And he has a Cubbo, dude. He has a freaking Darkest Cubbo. So, yeah, he's battling with a Cubbo, and then like Cubbo was just running around. It's like a maze around the whole academy. He's running around like buildings and stuff, pulling all these. He's pulling pranks. So like there was like soap bubbles that came out. There's a bunch of banana peels that they slipped on and such. Water balloons, like all the pranks that they did before. And then you see Athena. Like all the other awesome brawlers are sitting there on top of the building watching this all go down. They're like, it's like a series of pranks that are going on. And it's the same ones that Dan and Winton pulled. And then, Leah's like, wait, do you think, obviously hinting towards it, like, them pulling a prank and working together. And that's exactly what happened. Like, they look around, they're like, banana peels? Wait, these are like a bunch of pranks. are you two working together to prank us? And then they sit there and laugh like, you got us. Yeah, we're sitting here pranking you. I just saw how annoying and pesky your pranks were before that I decided to use them to my advantage. So he literally turned the table. This man pulled the reverse Uno card and flipped it back on them using their own pranks. It was a really smart play with it, honestly, for Coach Short. Yeah, and then after they realize it's a prank, they're like, well, you got your payback with these pranks, but we're gonna get it back with a Bakugan battle. So they sit there and switch to speed mode. The new version of Trox too with the speed mode, we haven't seen that mold yet, honestly. We haven't even seen like Drago Evo. Well, I think like Evo Drago showing up in some place. I'm definitely trying to look out for some new Bakugan. You already know, and more deck profiles will be coming really, really soon. I think you gotta sneeze. Yep. All right, but yeah, man. So they were just sitting there like playing all those pranks, and then like they pull the reverse Uno card on them. They go in and then just whoop them with a battle. Whoop them with the rest of the battle. They take out Cubbo, and then the donor, he said, I'm just messing around. Like this was all a big time prank. I'm not going to take away the funding from the academy or anything. So the academy has got the funding, so that means we'll probably be seeing the teachers and such a lot more because now they're not sitting there stressing about things. But at the very end of it, Coach Short was like, okay, now you two are going to pay for what you did, saying there's going to be some grueling, awful training for both of you. Just you wait. And the mail lady just went by. They got mail. Maybe there might be something. Who knows? But, yeah. So, that's basically how the episode ends, with Coach Short, Headmaster Short being like, you're going to pay for that with some grueling training. So, yeah, that's the end of the episode. But, yeah, with this build-up, I can imagine there being, like, even more conflicts. So now that there's more funding for the academy and the teachers aren't, the teachers aren't really sitting there stressing about that, we're going to probably see those teachers a lot more. We're going to see Sykes again. We're going to see the meditation teacher. We're going to see the teacher with, like, the gray hair and the gold parts in his hair. He's the Arliss Brawler, too. And, I really want to see his Bakugan. They haven't shown in the show yet. I think they just showed Colossus for the first time with these 2 episodes, honestly. So they're going to probably be showing off, like, the actual form of Griswing, like Griswing, the other Bakugan that they have and such, too. We'll probably be seeing the actual forms for them. I really want to see the Arliss teacher's Bakugan for sure, man. Like, I want that thing. It's so cool. It's like a bat skeleton. That's the coolest thing ever. It looks so cool. It's such an awesome design. And they're messing with the birds over there. I don't know if you guys can see them, but yeah, it's pretty adorable. But so it's wild just thinking about, like, the whole conflict that's gonna happen with this. Like, like the teachers, what do they have to say? Are they gonna put Coach Short in check because he's definitely being really, really strict? He's kind of letting the power get to his head a little bit, and it's like, you better watch yourself. Also, Marlo Faustus isn't gonna be in the hospital forever. Like, he's gonna get out. What's gonna happen? Like, is he gonna come back? Are they gonna try to have him become the headmaster? Is he gonna face Coach Short in a battle or something? Like, what's gonna go on? Because imagine, like, if the teachers don't do anything, when Marlo Faustus gets out, he's the one that made the academy. So, I could imagine it being like he comes back and tries to battle him. Maybe the winner gets control of the academy, as the headmaster. But also, he had Wrath before. Like, what would he use now if he doesn't have, like, Wrath was his Bakugan. So, like, who would his Bakugan be now? I don't know, man. But I know we got the seeds planted for, like, when Faustus gets out. That's a big time question. What are the teachers going to do now that there's funding for the academy and they're not stressing about that? Are they going to see what Coach Short's doing? Like, all that good stuff. Those are some big time questions for sure. And, of course, like, what happened to Wrath? I personally think that, if I had to make a guess, Wrath went to Vestroya. How there's the elemental, like, crystals and such in each world? We saw that with Season 3, and then there's, like, the elemental gadgets and such in each world, like Darkhavia having one, Haora, Pyrule, Aratopolis, Ventana, Darkhavia, all of them having it. Which, also, just saying all those worlds, like, they got a perfect setup for, like, a Bakugan video game. I really hope they do, like, a Battle Brawlers type video game with like the same kind of things, like, you know, the Bakugan on the gate cards. Like, you could have a version for gate cards. They should make a version for pro as well. Even if they made one for just like the standard way of playing, I'd be fine with that. Make it just like how the Battle Brawlers video game was, honestly. Like, you got all those worlds, have obstacles you can go around and such with them. You can roll your Bakugan out, you know, and battle like that. And then maybe have like a 1 minute battle where like you might throw core, so they could have the whole core throwing gimmick in there, the whole mechanic with that, you know. Like, you have 3 cores and then you throw them at a certain time, or, you know, like a little mini game like how the original game was, you know, like something like that. I would love to see a build up like that, because that's the greatest Bakugan Battle Brawl, like the Bakugan Battle Brawlers video game. It's the greatest Bakugan video game ever, in my opinion. And if they have the elements to be able to do that, man, it would be amazing if they did. Will there be a video game? Probably not. I don't know. But just getting a little sidetracked with that. But just thinking about that with all the different worlds. But I can imagine Wrath going through each world trying to get that elemental crystal, the elemental relic from each world. And then that's how we'll see like Fenneca, like Sharktar, Fenneca, Pinsittar, you know, like all of them showing up, like for Rascal, all these Bakugan that we saw in season 3, when these Bakugan, like, you know, like Trox and Pegatrix and the others were hibernating. This is how we could see them come back, because there's Platinum Series Sharktar. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe they make like a Platinum Fenneca, Platinum, like other Bakugan that come back. Like, imagine a Platinum for Rascal. That would be pretty cool. They made like for Rascal's ears like metal or something. Dude, that would be crazy. That would be really, really sick for sure, man. But yeah, I mean, time will tell with it, but that's the perfect way you can bring them all in, because they're the guardians of each of those elemental crystals, you know, and the guardians of each world. Like, we saw Velcron, you know, like we saw all of them a bit. So yeah, we haven't seen all of them, but, you know, we've seen a few of them a bit with this season. So it makes sense. And then we get a build up with that. Maybe Raph's trying to get all of them, and then like they donate like elemental power as well. And then that's how we get a build up. It's gonna be like Wrath versus Drago at the end of this for sure. Could definitely see it building up to that. Just, yeah, it makes full sense if it does. But yeah, regardless, I'm really, really hyped to see just how things go with like this second half of the arc for the Bakugan Academy, because now like are students gonna come back or such? Like, what exactly are gonna be the consequences of all this happening? We're seeing some of it now, but what's gonna really happen in the next few episodes for sure? Like with the Academy, probably we're gonna see like the build up with the Academy, and then like build up with things with Wrath, because the storms might get worse because Wrath's going around in all the different worlds, getting rid of the crystals, or like, you know, taking control of those crystals. And then maybe that makes the power even worse. The Bakugan are getting stronger that are showing up, the storms are getting worse and such, and they gotta do something about it, you know. Just an increase of power for sure. Uncontrolled elemental energy. But yeah, guys, so anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode review. I know it took a little bit, I had to gather all the thoughts and everything, and just give my overall view on it and stuff. Obviously a couple little tangents, you know, just going and talk about stuff, but it's all good, man. It's like related to the story, all that good stuff. But yeah, so anyways, let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comments. Big time hype. Episode 16 was sick. I'm excited for 17 onwards. I'm guessing there's going to be like, what, 25 episodes total? It'll make sense if there is, because I think that's how many there was for, like 25 or 26 episodes. I think that's how many there were before, right? Yeah, well, regardless, I'm really excited to see like how everything's going to pan out with this for sure, man. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode review. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. Also, there's going to probably be another episode review later on today, like probably like 3 or 4 hours after this one goes out. But yeah, so be on the lookout for it. But anyways, till next time, it's your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, stay awesome and Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here.